As Rocket League players, it is extremely important to have confidence and belief in our own gameplay. But it's also extremely important to be realistic about how good we actually are. And in today's video, we'll be showing off how we actually make a ton of mistakes even when we think we're playing well. So we're taking a look at one of our own replays today, and you can see that we have a replay here just entitled Solid. It's just a 1-0 win. But at the moment that this game was played, it would seem, based on the name, that we thought we played a pretty great game. At least a very solid, fundamentally sound game with very few issues. So let's go ahead and take a look and see just how solid this gameplay was. So away we go here, nice twos matchup on Urban Central. Out the gate, ball gonna be a bit loose, over to the side we go, and just like that, we're gonna get very lucky that we don't get absolutely demolished by this shot and have it go directly into our net. And the real question is, why exactly are we staying so far backed off here? Because looking at this guy's turned backwards on 0 boost, probably getting that mid boost over there. This guy's just taking the kickoff, so he's not really able to get a great attack going forward since he's side onto the ball. But why do we just keep shading back towards our own net rather than creeping into an area where we can either go cut out a pass or turn back if we need to, or go challenge if we need to? We're kind of putting ourselves into a box here where we're kind of beating ourselves, because this pass comes across, and looking at this guy, there is absolutely no threat initially of this shot. We absolutely could go cut down this space and apply pressure to this player here to prevent any kind of dangerous shot, but instead, we just see the pass and immediately think, oh, yep, here comes the shot, we should just go defend the net. And because of that, we let a very dangerous shot come forward and almost end up down by a goal only 5 seconds into the game. So not a great start, not a very solid start at all, I will say. Moving on up here, this is fine, just calmly waiting in the midfield, ball to the side. Into the air we go, let's see what we do with it. Ah, yes. My, what an effective touch. What a solid play, some might say. So realistically here, like, this isn't a great opportunity because both players there are kind of chilling around the backboard, so anything going towards this wall is not going to end all that well. So realistically, I think the best play here would either be to go back towards this wall where we can at least get a double tap and send it around, or at absolute worst, try to get a touch that goes across the field towards the back post, where these guys will be forced to chase the ball down instead of having it just kind of land right in front of them, and then having us take ourselves out of the play because we're trying to force an ability to follow after this ball when there's really nothing good that's going to come out of that touch, because now we're stuck on 0 boost trying to rotate back, and it's all just kind of messy in this rotation. And again, we bail out to go get boost here and leave the net undefended for a brief period of time. Surely that would never cause issues if any kind of pass would come out here. No. This is definitely a solid decision, let me tell you. Nothing wrong with this at all. Luckily, we are able to get back in time. Teammate is able to get the clear. We are going to move up rather calmly. Recognize the free ball, and yeah, we don't even put it on target. So realistically, this is not an overly great ball to decide to shoot, and why do we know that? Well, let's look at the defense. So this guy's kind of out of the play, granted, so we don't have to worry much about him. But this guy's getting full boost right there, and is going to be able to full speed back towards the net. So unless we get the most perfect shot with perfect placement and perfect power, there is absolutely no way that this ball is going to be threatening enough to prevent the save. And realistically, by just throwing this ball on net, when this guy goes and gets this save, they're going to be able to clear it over to this other corner, probably recover outside the net, and go continue to maintain possession and probably start a counterattack while we are landing in their corner again on fairly low boost. Now, granted, the shot is good enough to take that opponent kind of out of the game, but looking at the position of our teammate, they're nowhere around to be able to capitalize on this bounce. So sure, the ball bounces off the backboard, but there's nobody here from our squad, and Master E is probably just going to be able to turn and take control anyway, or someone here on the orange team is going to be able to get control of this ball. What if, instead of just booming it away as hard as possible, thinking that, hey, maybe we can put an unlikely shot on net, why don't we just take all of the space that's being offered to us here, because we've already established this guy's out of the play. There's so much space towards the wall where we can actually control this ball, allow teammate to go get boost, and actually create an offensive opportunity for ourselves, rather than just trying to take the shot as soon as we see an opportunity to do so, in a situation where that shot opportunity isn't even that good. Wait a minute. What exactly are we doing here? What exactly is the thought process? So we land out here, sure, that's fine. Teammate has control. Why are we just, like, driving in little squiggles out here? Where are we going? We're not supporting our teammate. We're not applying pressure forward. We're kind of just sitting in a random spot on the field and hoping it works. Another shot. That realistically isn't going to do us a whole lot of good, and it's just a giveaway possession once again. Let's take a look. Was there a way to control this ball, play it to space? Boy, there sure was. We're here early enough that we could absolutely just catch this ball and play it directly into their corner. Up the wall we go. We have an actual play, but instead we rush it. We just try to get whatever touch we can, even though it's not a great one, and we just hit it right to the opponents. Genius idea. We're not going to apply much pressure here initially. Wow, we kind of just let them do whatever they wanted here. So, we definitely don't want to dive in this situation, right? We don't want to take ourselves out of the game. But let's look at the position we're in as this ball is moving forward. So we have one opponent here, ready to go out to the corner to play this ball. We have our teammate going this way, probably looking for pads, maybe the mid boost as well. And we have one opponent who's going to be all the way behind us, completely out of the play. Now, as we move forward here, I think the big thing that we should do first is check our rear view to see exactly where that opponent is, know exactly how much time we have, where it's just going to be this one player back. Number two, we need to make sure that we actually apply some kind of pressure to this guy, because if we just stop in this area here, they can see that, and they can just go, oh, okay, cool, I have space, wait for the ball to come down, catch it, dribble it out, and then look to outplay us. And then that, once we get outplayed, would be leaving our teammate back alone in a 2v1 or 1v1 situation. So we definitely need to do something here, fake challenge, some kind of pressure to this opponent that doesn't allow free control and them to just immediately outplay us. Now, luckily, we don't dive at this, so that's fine, but would have been nice to not allow the opponent to make a play that now allows them to get back towards the ball, because that's exactly what's happened. That opponent still had full control, and it's a very dangerous spot to put ourselves in because we absolutely could have made their life more difficult than we did. Swing on around, we do get a bump without even really knowing much about it. That's fine. We like that. Into the air we go. One touch. Yeesh. This is a pretty normal problem, I would think. I would say, generally, is just rushing touches, because this is a great first touch. We have control of this ball. We have 58 boost as we land on the wall. We've used 6 of it already, but we have a bunch of boost here. There's only one player left. We have a net that is somewhat vulnerable, and instead of making sure that we just line ourselves up and get a nice solid touch, or even think, oh hey, this guy's rotating back, maybe we should look for a way to take control here, pay attention to the guy behind us, you know, try to make an actual play with this ball. We again just try to rush this play. We see the open net and we think, oh my gosh, if I just hit this ball as hard as possible right away, we might be able to score. But that line of thinking also leads to your opponents getting a lot of free balls when your shot attempt is not as good as you would like it to be. And in this case, we rush it so much that we don't even get a shot attempt at all. We get a reset out of it, which, you know, looks really cool, you know, that looks great. It doesn't do much, though. In fact, it just gives the ball away to our opponents, and now my teammate is in a 1v1 once again, because I said, oh look, I have an opportunity to play the ball, and said to myself, meh, I don't really want an opportunity to play the ball. What if I just gave it away to my opponents and let them play the ball? Why, yes, I think that is a great idea. In fact, it works out so well that my teammate is now going to be able to start a counterattack of their own. So, you know, big brain plays coming out here, let me tell you. Patience here, shot opportunity, not quite on target, but it's probably covered anyway, so that's not the end of the world. Patience on the wall here to just take a 50. I don't hate this play, but I'm not a huge fan of it because the angle we're coming from, right? If we were coming from a better angle, like say like this, that would be much better because then we could actually go into the challenge and set up our car how we want to. But with where we are, we're kind of angled in such a way that, like, it creates this, and this is super dangerous and could very well result in this. In which case, if that happens, that ball is probably just in our net. And because our teammate's probably sitting right up here thinking that this is going to be theirs. So we need to be very careful about these types of decisions along the wall, because this is a recipe for disaster, where it could just end up perfectly into our net off this challenge. And honestly, we're probably fairly lucky that it's a little slow and goes directly off the ceiling, because otherwise we'd be in a lot of trouble. In fact, we are still in a lot of trouble, and it's all because of that terrible challenge along the sidewall. Luckily, teammate is going to get the clear. We're going to steal the boost as well. Opportunity going forward. Not quite shot opportunity here, and wow. So we finally, this is finally the moment where we've been waiting. We've been trying to shoot all game. It hasn't worked. We finally have the opportunity. Let's look at the situation, right? There is nobody here. Other guy, nowhere to be seen. We stole boost from him over there. I'm pretty sure he's slow coming back, so we don't have to worry about that at all. We got this guy who's landing on the backboard, possibly even just continuing to fly this way. Horrible slow recovery. Wide open net. All we have to do is shoot the ball on target with any kind of pace, and we got ourselves the first goal of the game with under a minute to go. What do we do instead? We over air roll, we boost too far because we see the net, our eyes get wide, and we all of a sudden forget how to shoot the ball. And we do this. Brilliant attempt. Brilliant attempt. Exactly how we drew it up. Perfect. Exactly what you want. Tap to the side. Get some boost. Tap over the top. Space. What do we do with it? We actually recognize it. We actually catch the ball. And we actually put a decent shot on target. And this is exactly how you need to play these situations. So let's just break this down real quick. We recognize a good opportunity to go for a challenge. Again, we have a good challenge angle here, which is important. If we do lose this, it's just going to go wrap around the wall more than likely. Maybe it goes up, perhaps, but both of those are relatively fine with our teammate back behind us. So we're not really worried about losing this, because if we do, we also have a very quick recovery path out of this. Once we do win this challenge, we need to very quickly identify the position the other defender is in. And if we look, we can see him starting to scramble back right here. Now, the very important thing is, for once, we don't see the open net, and we don't try to just boom it on target as fast as humanly possible. We finally recognize that we took one out of the game. Why don't we just utilize the space that's available to us and look to actually make a play? And that is exactly what we do. We finally make the realization of what the best play to make is. We catch this ball, we control it, we let our teammate run forward, we put pressure on the opponent, and we're able to put that ball behind them into the back of the net, and we finally get ourselves a 1-goal lead. Somehow, despite all of the ways we probably should have been scored on, and despite all the ways that we probably should have been able to have goals as well, it took until 21 seconds left in the game to get our first goal. And now how do we defend it for the last 10? Again, just recognize the space, stay close. The ball gets a little bit away from us, but I at least like the idea there. Taking pads on the rotation back, see where the threat is, position well in net. Teammate gets the block, and that is not down yet. Master E trying to keep it up. Gonna keep it up a little bit. Patience here. Good. Don't dive unnecessarily. And just like that, we're gonna get ourselves a win. But you can see that, yeah, the name of the replay was solid, yet there was a lot, and I do mean a lot, of questionable decisions, questionable touches, just questionable things all throughout this game. And it 100% was not as solid as we believed in the moment. So I really do challenge you in your own games, whether you win, whether you lose. If you think you played a really solid game, I would suggest giving it a day or two, then going back and watching that game and see how well you really think you played, because a lot of times the mistakes we're making are not apparent to us in the moment, especially in games where we win 1-0, because it's like, oh, we didn't give up a single goal. Well, we couldn't have made that many mistakes, except yes, you can. Just because you're not punished for the mistakes you made does not mean that there were not mistakes in that game. So no matter how well you think you played, I challenge you to be able to go find the mistakes that you make in every single game you get into, because the more mistakes you can find, the more mistakes you can then eliminate from your game, and the easier you will find it to win games and rank up. Of course, thank you everybody so much for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you who made it to this point in the video, and I do hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. Additionally, if you'd like to be a bit more involved in the community we're building here, feel free to check out my Discord, which I'll have linked down in the description. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.